So, here's what I got so far. I've got this tea put in, which brings cold water to my mixing valve so that I can mix this hot water coming in down to a radiant floor temperature, 125 degrees. These zones are my radiant floor zones. This hot water here will be coming from the boiler, and I'll have a zone here for my Modine heaters, which I haven't showed you yet. That'll be full temperature boiler water, probably 160, 170. So I've got that put in, I've got this, I'm slowly building my way back to the boiler. And once I've got everything exactly where I want it, I'll solder it down. I don't know why I do that. Once I get it put all back together, I will solder it. So, yeah. So here's where I am. I've got the mixing valve in, I've got my hot water header done, cap, drain. I don't really like how this ends. I bought these integral valves and drains, very fancy, very expensive. I was trying to do something different, but I don't really like this either. Basically what you want to do is you want to leave your header so that you can expand later. And I don't really feel like I've done that. I mean, I would have to heat that up and pull this thing off and then add another T, which is doable, but with this whole thing, it's just, what I should do is just cap it right there and be done, but I figured I'll throw a drain in, that way I can, you know, drain this if I need to, I guess. I don't know. That doesn't sound very positive, does it? Anyway, so I've got to put a stub on here and my valve, my flange, and then I should be ready to solder. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so I have everything done to a valve. So that stops at a valve, that stops at a valve, this, that, these two things. So I have the opportunity, the ability to pressure test by shutting all the valves. I have not soldered any of these yet. I have that left to do. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to solder all these joints and then put some air to it with this little valve I put on. That's interesting. Anyway, so I'm going to solder them all, pressure test it, and then I need to go reassemble the house. Then I can hook these two up, and then I can see if I can get heat to the house. So that's where. Check this out. So there's a leak right here. So I could barely hear it, and I can almost not hear it now. But if you go around and you put your hands around each joint, hear that? You can hear it leak. So I just went around and put my hand on every other joint, and here's, this is the only leak. And what's interesting is that I don't even remember soldering this one. So, probably why it's leaking. Okay, so I have it all soldered. Everything. I've put everything back together. And I put, let's see what I'm at. 6.5, 7, almost 8. So 7 pounds of air in the system, and I don't hear any leaks. Generally, you can right away hear a. So the question is, will it hold 7 pounds over a day? Well, I'm not going to find out. Basically, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to fill it with water, and that'll be a lot faster to find the leaks. But I usually fill it with air once. That way it's way easier to fix a leak. You open a valve and you start soldering. Instead of, you have to dry all the pipes out. You have to try and drain all the water, which is nearly impossible. It's a very lengthy task. So it seems to be holding. I think I'm going to take the air and put it back up to 10 and then go mow the lawn because it's unbelievable. The middle of October, And it's like 75 degrees today. It's just, I mean, yesterday it was like 30, 40 and raining. It's just gross. Today, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to get one last mowing while I still can and come back and see if that's still holding air. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Dunsky. Well, I mean, not done. I don't have any of the pumps on or any of that, so it's not done. But it's at least to a point where I can pressure test it, and it's downhill from here. So that's what I'm going to do.